one more little video tip. To open this tailgate, go inside just on this side, okay, and you'll see this little latch here. You gotta lift up on this latch lever. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. I showed it to the video. You see that little latch thing?
Right here?
Yep, just lift it up. If it's hard to lift up, then you need to kind of push on the tailgate to get the pressure off of it.
Okay.
So lift that up, and just pull the whole thing back. There's no latch on that side. Another little thing you could probably repair, but I never bothered. So, in any case, set it back up again. But you would definitely be mystified by that if you hadn't been around old trucks a lot and tried to deal with that. Okay, so what you should see is a little bit of smoke coming out from right under here, because this is where the blowers are running, and it's looking fairly clean right now. In fact, yeah, oh, there it comes. Okay, so it's depending on which way the wind blows, you might see more or less of it. If you back up from the truck, you don't want to see thick smoke. What mostly we want to see is kind of a real light haze. It's just a real thin haze, because if it's thick, that means it's got tars in it, and you could possibly gum up the engine. So, this is looking pretty good. Alright, so what we'll do is we will fire it up on the wood gas. Okay, so if we'd left our blowers on, we could shut it off right here. I shut it off out there first, but hang on to your cap, you don't want to lose that. Okay, and the way to start this is probably the trickiest part for getting started. Okay, so you start it up. It starts right up on gasoline, of course. It'll run fine on gasoline, and just ignore the wood gas if you want. What happens, unfortunately, when you step on the wood gas, just kills it. Because the pipes are all full of air right now, and it won't run on air. It has to have some potent fuel. Okay, so we've made it way too lean. So, okay, so there's running back on gasoline again. So what you gotta do is you gotta raise the RPMs up and just hit the gasoline until it doesn't quite kill it, but see how I'm keeping it going with the gasoline, but I'm trying to get it to pull on the wood gas. You can see on these gauges up here how much you're pulling. See him move a little bit there? I can really make him jump, but oh, of course, I'm forgetting the first thing you'll probably forget too, which is we've left the blowers open. You gotta shut those.
Shut the blowers.
If you don't shut those, it'll just keep sucking air right through it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So once you get it going, and you turn this off.
Turn the blowers off and shut that thing.
Shut the.
Right.
Okay,
now we should be able to pull more. Yeah. Now we're able to pull a lot more vacuum through it. Okay. When you hear it start to increase, you're starting to get some wood gas now. Okay. Alright, now I'm kind of expertly managing these between the two, but the main thing is just not to let it die, because then you'll just have to restart it. Also to watch that air fuel gauge, which means we need a lot more air now that we're on wood gas. Okay, so
when you need more air,
when you need more air, pull on this. If you pull too much, it'll kill it.
Yeah.
If you push it too much, it'll be too rich.
Okay.
So setting it according to this, it looks like a little more, a little more. Okay, so I'm seeing like one light show up sometimes. If you really pull on it, then you're gonna have to, once it gets up to highway speeds, you may have to give it a little more air. But anyway, for the most part, you don't have to mess with it. Right, you pull to give it more air and push in. But mostly it's just a setting. So once you're rolling, it's not going to change that much. So
and these two, when you're burning on wood,
right. So you can see right now we're really not pulling much of anything because it's just idling. But so what I'll do is pull. You can see it's pulling about 1 inch there, and maybe it would help us. I'm gonna load the. I won't run over you, I promise. Okay. But okay, so we won't have so much RPMs. But in any case, so let me set this to. Okay, so you can see how that's got about 2.5 inches on it, and that's got about 1. So it's running about a 2-to-1 ratio, and that'll be easier to tell once you're really up at speed. because you'll be running maybe 15 and that'll be maybe 5 or something. Then you say, oh, that's 15 and 5, that's 3 to 1.
So when I'm running on gas, we want it to be...
We want it to be, yeah, more or less in the middle. I mean, it can move around
and
some.
wood would probably be down here.
Wood will be down there.
Okay.
On gasoline, don't worry about it too much because it may disappear down here in the lean, and
Okay.
the only way to richen it is to add a little bit of choke.
Okay, and the only problem would be if it gets way over here, I should pull
that's
up and check the carburetor.
just check the carburetor, and if you see a bunch of gasoline pouring out, then that's the time to fix it. But hopefully that won't happen. Here's the last gauge that I guess I didn't explain. You've got 20 inches of this is hooked up straight to the engine. So when you step on the throttle, it'll go to 0. So that just tells you more or less how much throttle you're using. You know, if you're coasting, it'll be way down here, and if you're at full throttle, it'll be up here. So it's just another nice little gauge to have.
Okay. And that's on either gas or...
Right. The wood gas will do the same thing, because it's just telling you how the engine's doing. Alright, so now that we're running on wood gas, I think we should drive it around a little bit.